What's up, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Binge List. That's right, the Binge List. I'm Kurt.
I'm Paul.
And today we're going to be covering the movie Extraction, where Chris Hemsworth trades in his hammer for an assault rifle.
And he commits mass genocide on a scale in Bangladesh.
Is there anybody left in India?
He kills like 200 guys.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I was totally thinking that when I watched it. I was like, man, just a pointless destruction.
The movie was brutal.
It was
just brutal.
It was brutal in a lot of ways, but I was entertained.
Of course, yeah.
I was entertained, and I guess our underlying carnal need to see people do destruction to each other. There was no lack of that here.
Yeah.
But what'd you think of it?
I liked it, but yeah, it was like I was just like, yeah, how many people is gonna kill? I was just like, my God.
And I was wondering,
he's trying to save this. Okay, the whole movie, he's trying to save this boy, because he lost his son. It is really simple plot.
Yeah, very.
He
simple.
lost his son to cancer,
right.
And he's got a death wish, pretty much.
He's self-destructive.
Got
an opioid problem.
And this kid is the son of a drug lord who's in prison. He gets kidnapped by a rival drug lord. Okay, this kid is in India. His father is a drug lord in India. He has a rival in Bangladesh,
right,
who's also a drug lord. So the drug lord in Bangladesh kidnaps his kid while he's in prison to humiliate him. But he puts the kid up for ransom.
And it was more money than the one in prison had.
And the drug lord in India couldn't afford the ransom money, but he tells his chief lieutenant, he says, "Get my son back, or I'm going to take your son."
Yep.
And the his chief lieutenant is like ex-special forces. His name is Saju. I'm not even going to attempt to do these names.
Yeah,
everybody in this movie...
We'd just be doing an injustice to them.
Dude, everybody in this movie had a crazy name. Like the special forces guy, Randeep. I guess his name is not that hard, but the woman that hires Chris Hemsworth...
Yeah, she runs like this organization.
Her name is Goshifif Farahani.
Thing.
What is that name?
And I'm just going to say this at this point. When you think of the drug lords of the world, India usually gets passed over for like historical drug lords, right?
Yeah.
So when they were saying that one guy was the Pablo Escobar of India, I was just like, India needed their drug lords to get representation. So they're like, you know what? Well, we got bad guys too. So these are our two bad guys. Anyway, I just thought it was funny premise,
It's based on it was based on a graphic novel by Joe Russo. You know who Joe Russo is?
Yes.
One of the directors for, he did, him and his brother, they did
the Russo Bros.
Well, they did Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. They did Civil War. We're talking about Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War. They did Avengers Infinity War. And they did Avengers Endgame. But he wrote...
you can tell that these guys like to shoot these big, giant, epic movies.
Well, I thought he directed it, but he just listed as I guess he did a graphic now called "See You Died."
I'm gonna say that they've changed locations on where that took place.
Yeah, probably. I should. Let me see. I got a wiki page.
But everybody's probably tired of like the Mexican drug lord movies,
Yeah, we've seen those over and over again.
I will say that I was not expecting this whole thing to be shot in India. Well, except for the very beginning.
Well, okay. See You Dad doesn't have a wiki page, so I can't see where. Well, anyway. So what was I going to say? Oh, it's directed by, and this is like I said, this is a trend that's been going on in Hollywood for a little while now. It was directed by Sam Hargrave. I looked at his background. He's a stunt man. And they did a behind the scene type little featurette that I watched. Mm-hmm. Dude, some of the way they were shooting some of these action scenes, like in one scene they were doing a car chase. They had a stunt man sitting on the hood of a car filming because of all these shots. And you think he was buckled on the hood? No. They like stopped the car, he just jumped off. And they were going like full speed too. It was really freaky.
Nuts, man.
And I think that's just because it might have been the director himself. Who knows?
And I'll tell you that this thing did have some interesting like camera angles and shots in it that were unique.
Oh yeah, it was beautifully shot.
Yeah, it was very unique. Yeah, you know, once again, when I'm talking with you about it, I start recognizing things that I didn't see the first time, you know, or didn't pay full attention to. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it was, woo. If you want to see some action, man, this is the movie for you. I mean,
he had to have like ammo drops though. I mean, good grief, the amount of bullets he shot.
They showed him reloading sometimes. I mean, but
I'm just saying, like, where was he getting the bullets to reload his clips?
I don't know. Part of the problem, I was like, he was that scene. He was killing a bunch of cops. I was like, what? Every one of those cops couldn't have been dirty.
Oh, I know.
How many freaking orphans did he make in this movie?
Well, you know, where the one part where they were, he was fighting the lieutenant guy from the other drug lord that's in prison, and they were driving through town, and they were both trying to kill each other and kill the cops.
Yeah.
It was like,
because you see
cops
see the special forces guy, he works for the drug lord, he's shooting cops. I'm like, I thought the cops was working with him, but then I realized, oh no, the dirty cops was working for the Bangladesh drug lord. But I was just like, God, all these cops he's killing. That kind of disturbed me a little bit. The only real twist in the movie is it was so funny the way they he's getting he's doing a little briefing before they go on the mission to extract this kid, and Chris Hemsworth is like, how many guys are keeping the kid? And they're like 20 guys. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, really? But then the way, and I don't want to ruin too much for people, but I'm recommending right now that you see this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the way they tricked the kidnappers was really cool. And he gets in there, you think, oh my God, they got him tied up and whatnot. And he kills everybody in the room. It's like, God.
Except the little boy.
It was freaking brutal, man, the way he kills all these guys. That's like, okay, the 20 guys, I see why the 20 guys didn't concern him.
Well, at the, you know, there was that one young kid that was in there that he just took the gun away from. And then they covered that again in another scene where
the Goonie Squad,
and he's just slapping them around and stuff and taking their guns
there's
away.
This group of kids, little kid soldiers that work for the Bangladeshi drug lord, and he calls them the Goonie Squad from hell.
Yeah, the Goonie Squad.
But he's like fighting them. He's fighting like he fights the other guys, but he's like slapping them and stuff. And,
instead of punching them or shooting them.
Yeah, he doesn't kill any of them, but he's like, get the hell out of here. He's just like slapping them around. That was a funny scene, man.
And then the, you know, at the end, when what happens, you know, he probably should have done something differently.
But there was one.
That was a very veiled ending because I don't want to ruin it.
Well, at this point, let me just go ahead and put up spoilers. We're going to spoil a little bit of it because it was really basic plot. Kid gets kidnapped. Guy gets hired to save kid. He saves the kid, but here's the twist. His whole team gets half of his team gets wiped out by the guy that hired all of them because he can't pay their fee. So what his whole plan was, he's gonna pay half of their fee, wait for them to get the kid, then he was gonna steal the kid from them before they deliver the kid. So he wouldn't have to pay the rest of the money to the extraction team. So that was a little twist. So Chris Hemsworth is fighting the guy that hired him, plus he's fighting the Bangladesh drug lord.
And the whole city.
The whole city, because the Bangladesh drug lord has the whole city shut down. So he's fighting everybody.
The military and the police all in his pocket. And
yeah, but at the end, it's implied that he survived.
Yes, I saw that. I even rewound that part.
Was it him?
You can't tell. I even stopped it and looked, but it's a faded,
I would have been very angry if they actually showed him clearly, and it's it's actually him. He survived because he gets shot by a sniper rifle
once
through the shoulder or something,
and he fights.
Which probably would have still killed him, and then he gets shot in the neck
by
one of those kids. So it's
so the movie opens up with this drug lord throwing a child off the roof of a building. Okay,
it's brutal.
Talk about brutal.
It is brutal.
He throws a child off the top of a building, and then tells the next kid to cut off 2 of his fingers.
Oh God, it was. They could have. I really wish they had left that out.
And then it got violent after that.
And then he did cut off his finger later in the film.
Yeah, he wasn't going to show up there still having those fingers.
I was like,
after he
really?
just let
nobody would have cut their finger off that easily, man. Come on.
You don't know what type of crazy you would have to be to go through.
There's no way. There's no way.
That's why you see these movies where somebody gets bit by a zombie and they're sawing their own arm off.
No, man.
Like in Saw, when dude sawed his arm off so he could get out of the handcuffs. You couldn't do it. I don't think you'd have to be something wrong with you. And
there's no way. I would shoot myself if I had a gun. There's no way.
But Walking Dead dealt with that by having other people cut off limbs, But yeah, it would be really well. That one guy that got stuck in the canyon, he did it, but it took him a long time to do it.
But see, he had a choice. This was his choices, which was really bad. Cut off my arm or starve to death. Either way, it's going to be some agony.
And at that point, your mind is
And wasn't his arm pretty much dead or something by that point?
Yeah, it was crushed by the rock.
So it was
if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a movie called. You remember what it's called?
Was it 27 Hours? I think
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't watch stuff like that.
It's a pretty amazing story of a guy surviving a really horrific accident.
It's a pretty amazing story by whose standards? See, this is what gets me. I'm gonna go a little racial here. If a black guy, if that had happened to a black guy and he had to do that, people would be dumb,
I wouldn't. I would think that was amazing no matter what color they were.
It's only amazing because it happened to a white guy.
Negative.
To anybody else, it would have just been something, oh, you dumbass. Why are you going hiking by yourself anyway?
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. I think it would be amazing story of survival, regardless of the race of the person, because I'm sure he's glad he did it because he's still alive. Anyway,
so you recommend it or what?
Absolutely, I thought it was a great movie.
I think we underappreciate Chris Hemsworth. He's a great actor, man.
He is.
I don't know whether you have the same feeling about this. I went and watched Endgame recently just because I was so bored. You know, I started just watching stuff I knew was going to bring me some joy.
Right.
And Endgame is one of those movies. A lot of people didn't like Endgame. A lot of people at work that I work with, they didn't, it didn't have enough action. Dude, the performances in that movie and the character arcs were all perfectly done.
Right.
If you want a class in how to do a character arc, how to finish a character arc, you should watch that movie. Because every character just about completes their arc. You don't even think of Thor having an arc. But you think of all the stuff he went through, seeing how basically everybody in his family died.
So explain to me when you say character arc, what is that?
Character arc is you set up something a character wants or some kind of character change that you want them to ultimately go through the course of the series.
Right.
So
to develop them into
so basically Iron Man's character arc is he starts off as a self-absorbed rich guy.
Right. A-hole.
And he ends up he only cares about himself. He's selling elite, weapons. He's basically a one of these weapon what's the word? He's a guy,
an arms dealer.
He's an arms dealer in the first movie. By the last movie, he is trying to protect the whole world. He gives his life for the universe.
Yeah, that would be a major character arc.
Yeah, he has a kid, so he's thinking of his kid when he kills himself, but he's also thinking, you know, because you know Thanos is going to wipe out the whole universe, so he's giving his life for the whole universe. He's gotten married, you know, he's not this self-centered person anymore. He gives all. That was his character arc. Captain America didn't have an obvious one. His was he wanted fulfillment. He wanted a regular life. You know, he wanted to be this hero too, but he also
wanted to go back and live.
You know, after he helped save the world, he went back to his the one woman he ever loved, and he lived his life. Yeah. So, but then I realized Thor had a character arc. Because the first time I saw it, all those scenes with Thor just played for laughs, I felt. But then when I went back and watched it, I realized how great his performance was. Because you just feel for him. If you just look at him from what he's going through, when Bruce Banner first goes to him, and he's all fat and everything, and he mentions Thanos, and you see that look on his face, and you realize how much torture he's went through 5 years from not being able for failing at that opportune moment, having the weight of the universe on his shoulders. Half of the universe got wiped out because he didn't go for Thanos' head.
Right.
So, and you can see it in look at that scene again, look at his face. You can see all that pain, man. And then later, even when they go back in the past and he goes to Asgard, and then he's about to fail again because he's trying to find some beer that his father has a stash of.
Right.
And he's trying to lead the mission. And then he sees his mother and he breaks down again because he knows she's going to die that day. And it's just like, man, the emotion he channels in his portrayal was great, man. It was like, just go back and watch that movie and forget all the little hilarious stuff you're supposed to laugh at, because you know the first time you watch it, it's so funny because you don't expect to see Thor as a fat guy,
right?
So they play
fat guys represent.
So that's all you think about. But if you go back and watch it and you just watch his performance and you think about what is on his shoulders, and then by the end of the movie, he's gotten his confidence back.
Right.
And he's ready to go on new adventures. and he signs up with
there was a similar moments in this movie, in this Extraction movie, where he was talking with the boy about his son dying, and then at the end when he gets shot in the neck, the final shot from the kid.
Yeah.
And he looks back at what is the boy's name again?
Avi,
yeah. He looks back at Avi, who is being held back from rushing to him, and he just nods his head, gives that nod, and, like he accepts his fate now. Well, and he's okay because he's going to get to see his son.
Yeah, well, also he had saved this. He wasn't even. He couldn't save his son, but he had saved this kid.
Right.
That was the whole inference, I think. It wasn't a complicated movie. That's basically what it was. He wanted to atone for his failure with his kid. Because he was, like he said, he went on another tour of Afghanistan to avoid seeing his son die.
Right.
So he was kind of a coward, and he felt like he had to prove himself one final time by saving this kid.
Redemption.
And he redeems himself at the end. That's basically what it's about.
Because when the story begins, it's a story of this self-destructive mercenary who. And
it's been done. That theme has been done many times.
Who took the most dangerous mission that nobody else would accept.
Right.
Because, like she said, that he's hoping that he'll catch a bullet in it. And so he's very... I can't remember the word I'm trying to think of, but he's very destructive and
self-destructive.
Yeah, and he's not being real careful. He just goes in and takes on a room full of people.
Well, I kind of felt like he's done that before.
Now the fight sequences in this thing.
Yeah.
I see beauty in those things.
Oh yeah.
The dance.
That whole dance was perfectly done.
And then with 2 car collisions in that one fight right there. But the fight sequences were good. The action sequences were great. A lot of destruction in India they left behind after making this movie.
I was looking for the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oh, here it is. I couldn't find it. Oh no, that's. But it's getting hammered by the critics. It's at 63%. For the critics.
Who cares?
I don't know what the audience score is though. I can't find it on.
Are we not critics? And we think it's good.
Yeah, we liked it. So if you wanna see a movie about genocide in Bangladesh, no, I'm joking. And I should mention David Harbour. The guy that plays Hopper on Stranger Things.
Yes.
He has like a cameo role.
Man, that guy can act anything.
Yeah.
Any character. You can be the lovable small town cop, or he can be just this dark human being like he was in this thing. I mean, he kind of teetered on that edge because he seemed to like really love his wife.
Yeah.
But at the end, he was going to go shoot that kid.
Yeah, but like I said, it was a kind of a simple movie, but really, really shot really well, choreographed really well, great action scenes like you've never seen.
So I wonder what the critics are saying about it. Why
are they saying? Well, let me give you an example. Well, somebody criticized it. Extraction
aimless violence.
Well, it has been criticized for having white savior elements.
Okay. Sorry I asked.
Aiming for the fight poetry of the John Wick franchise, Extraction comes closer to a series of stunts strung together to look like an ultra-violent video game. Okay. In which the avatars are played by actual humans.
That's why we love it.
They're talking about the greatest things about the movie like there's something to be ashamed of.
Man, 13 to 15-year-old boys are going to love this movie.
Okay, but that's about it. You got any more things to add?
No, man. I just want to give a shout out to the subscribers, man.
Yeah.
Taking us over 200,000. This is the first time you and I have been able to get together and make a video since that happened. So I just wanted to mention and give a salute and a thank you to the subscribers.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you as well for putting us over the top like that. We thought 100,000 was going to be insurmountable, and we've gotten to 200,000 in less time than it took us to get to 100,000.
Yeah, the first 100,000 is the hardest one to get. From
Oh
what I
my
understand.
God, it took so long.
Well, not really. Not in the
Not
grand
really.
scheme of things.
Actually, less than a year, but
But on to 1 million.
on to
Next-
1 million,
next
guys.
stop.
We say that, and I almost want to laugh, but hey, shoot.
Hey, I never thought we'd be here, man.
I never thought we'd be at 200, so yeah. But I'd like to thank my subscribers. Give us a like, comment it down below, hit the bell so you know when our next video drops. And we will see you when we see you. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.